Hi everyone and welcome back to Stock Talk on September 5th. We're looking at the intraday chart of the S&P 500 and I want to refer you guys to what we talked about yesterday in yesterday's Stock Talk. And the first thing is, can you guys see this support area at 287.60 that I have marked? Now, we talked about this yesterday. I even announced it in the private Discord chat in the trading course as well as the Facebook group. There was a support, and look what happened, and look at the reaction at the very least intraday off of the S&P 500 near that support area. Can you guys see that we bounced near that support area? So that occurred, which is what we expected. That's number one. Number two, you guys have to take a look at this general trajectory. What exactly happened today in terms of the the candle that was formed today? And you guys can see that we formed a tail candle. We formed a tail candle yesterday, but today a little more definitive than yesterday. So what are we looking for in the near future? We have some sort of trend change right now. However, I don't see a confirmation just yet. So it could happen in which we could start reversing. That is certainly one possibility, but at the very least, we can also come down and retest the 287.60 mark. Now, just note that I talked about 287.60, but we didn't hit it today, and that's really the question mark in my head, because the question mark is, we didn't hit it today, and we didn't hit the support exactly. We reversed near the support, so I can't give a definitive signal that we are going to reverse back up, but that is certainly something that I'm looking for in the near future, especially tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So I'll be looking for that. All right. Let's take a look at volatility right now and TVIX. Guys, once again, thank you everyone for watching these videos. Hopefully these videos help you guys, because we talk about these trends, and when these trends play out, which happens most of the time, when these trends and when I talk about these trends play out, then hopefully you guys are learning something from this. I do it for you guys, or enjoying these videos. So please hit that thumbs up button on the video if you do enjoy it, and thank you so much for all of your all of your comments and everything. So let's take a look at TVIX for volatility, and you guys can see it's been doing pretty much the same every single day. We have some intraday spikes in volatility, but then we get to the low side, and by the end of the day, the volatility kind of dies away. This really shows you once again the bullish character of the markets, and reaffirms that we are on a bullish trend. So you might be asking, well, Kevin, well, why are we bullish? Didn't volatility go up 1.5%? But at the same time, I can argue this way, right? The bullish case is, you guys can see how we're trying to trend higher, but every day we've actually closed lower. Well, at the very least, not counting the gaps, we've closed lower. Yes, we went up 1.5% today, but the question has to be, why weren't we able to close above the 20-period moving average every single day? That's a good question. That means that, promotes the fact that, the markets are still bullish, right? Looking at S&P 500, this is an uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, nothing wrong with the chart. And, we're getting potentially some good buying opportunities, perhaps today, in the next few days. That is something for you guys to watch for. All right. Let's take a look at some of the commodities for/CL crude oil futures. What did we talk about yesterday? So let's think back and think, what did we talk about yesterday? Well, we said that there was a resistance at $70.05, right? And we said that not only yesterday, guys, we said it last week as well. $70.05. And you guys can see a rejection signal yesterday. What did we say? Well, that's signaling a downtrend, right? Because it's a reversal signal back to the downside. Today, what happened? We continued on lower. Does it mean that we are going to go all the way to 64? No, the answer is no. However, crude oil is on a short-term downtrend, and we just have to take that with a grain of salt, right? Right now, whether you're looking at the ticker UWT for a potential crude oil trade, that is dangerous in my opinion, because you guys can imagine that, we're continuing to fall. Where is our support area? Well, our support area has to be around 35.17 up towards the 35.69 area. there's still $1 left to drop, right, for crude oil. So this is not something I would actually look into, or the inverse, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. I'm watching it. Remember, tomorrow we have inventory reports coming out. That's going to put a jolt into the crude oil chart. You know, that's something I don't want to be a part of. All right. Natural gas, guys. Natural gas. What did we say yesterday about natural gas? Well, we said that we formed pretty much a rejection and a continuation move to the downside. My next line is situated at 2.747. We're reaching there rather quickly, but we are getting to that area. So what's natural gas doing? It's following. And the ticker that we've been interested in the past few days has to be DGAZ in that case, right? So you might be asking, Kevin, what are you talking about? Didn't you say UGAZ was the one of interest like 4 days ago or 3 days ago? Yeah, well, we talked about UGAZ of being interest during these days, right? Because why? Well, the reason is, I'll show you guys the 4/NG futures, natural gas. We were interested because of these reversal areas, right? That's why we were interested, but it was a short-term reversal. It was rather short-lived. And then when we got the signal of a continuation move to the downside, that's DGAZ, right? That's inverse natural gas. So, I have these support lines and resistance lines for a reason. So that is just something I wanted to point out to you guys. Remember, we just have to follow the trend. And the trend obviously is down, short-term reversal, now back down again. That's normal. All right, next ticker, futures, is 4/GC, looking at gold futures. I talked about yesterday how gold futures is really, and if you're investing in gold, it's really uninvestable right now. And you might be like, how is it uninvestable? Can't I just buy in and sell in, right? I mean, that's totally investable. It's not investable for these reasons, because I like to rely on technical charts, as you guys know, and all these trends I talk about in the course as well. So please feel free to visit that link. I talk about where to find those buy areas, sell areas in elaborate detail, step-by-step analysis. So for 4/sell, why is this not tradable in this case? Well, it's because you guys can see a resistance at 1210, a support at 1178, and what are we doing? It looks like from this chart that gold got rejected, is on its way down, but it's moving down rather slowly, which means, yes, it's going down, but it could reverse at any point, right? But we don't know when. Right now, you guys can see we're pretty much near the middle, right? Here, it could potentially go higher, but the trend is lower, so there's certainly a potential to go lower. And you guys can see, even though gold futures went up today, the ticker that follows gold made an a yearly low, actually, of $7.07, and we closed at 717, very close to the bottom. And you guys can see this very definitive rejection signal near the 20-period moving average, which has occurred several times in the past, right? And this looks like a continuation move to the downside. So I'm closely watching gold futures as well, because there's a couple of factors in terms of the markets I'm watching and in terms of the gold market. So I'm trying to correlate those two with each other. And yeah, so gold, I would stay out of its course, at least for now, because there is really no sign of reversal. All right, let's take a look at a couple of your tickers. So once again, I want to thank everyone for submitting your tickers, and I enjoy taking a look at all your charts. So keep that up. BIIB. So this is Biogen. Ah, okay. Biogen. Interesting. So for Biogen, the one thing you want to keep in mind is you guys can see that this is a pretty nice trend. Overall, it is a slightly uptrend. You guys can see it's a slightly uptrending stock right now, and that we are nearing the peak. Now, the question you might be asking is, will we ever hit this low? Because you guys can imagine this low is what? The best time to get in, right? So you guys can imagine whenever it occurs, if it occurs, perhaps late this year, perhaps next year, whenever it occurs, 279, 284, those areas are better buying areas in my opinion. Right now, we are a little bit overextended. Now, however, you might be arguing this way, and I can see it this way as well. look what we're doing right now. We're consolidating sideways. What does that usually mean? We have a resistance up here, right? This is pretty pronounced, 367.45. We might be preparing for that next leg higher. So, you know, this is something for you to consider. I think this is a very good trend. The best optimal buying area is here, but if you wanted to buy up here, you just want to allocate your risk effectively. All right, let's take a look at your next ticker, and the next one's by IS. So welcome to the channel, IS. And Nathan, thank you for your submission as well. Welcome to the channel. I love seeing new faces around here. Thank you, Kevin. Looking for your class when I have more time. Yeah, thank you. So here's Alibaba, right? What do you guys see? We're looking at the 3-year chart right now. What do you guys see right now? Well, obviously, you guys can see a massive up move, and now what are we doing? We're moving on down. Now, the couple things is we've had this massive up move. Now, stocks, as we know, like to take time to breathe, and now we broke this near-term support at 167.41. As a matter of fact, we closed below the support. What does that mean? Lower prices are to come for Alibaba. Is this normal? This is normal, given that we've had quite the run between 2016 to 2017. So, you know, this is going to come down, and there's areas of support, sure, but just be cautious in terms of, you know, investing and going long and getting too early into the game. While this is and will be, in my opinion, in the future, a good trend, right now it is on a downtrend. So I would not, at the very least, since there's no sign of reversal, we just broke the support, not go long at the in terms of this one right now. All right, DJ Sin, let's take a look. Waiting to see AEO and KO. So let's take a look at one of your tickers, AEO. So you're saying, here's American Eagle, and we're looking, let's take a look at the yearly chart. So you're saying in KO for a break or fail of resistance. So you're waiting for that. Okay, yeah, and that is the case for, you know, you guys can see that we are still getting rejected at the resistance or the 20-period moving average. That's a very good observation, DJ Sin, so keep that in mind. This isn't on an uptrending pattern. I do like it. You guys can see that it's held this really predictable pattern, you know, for the past year, right? So while this one is a good one to watch, you know, you guys can see that we tested it. This is the 4th time we're testing the support area. Just be cautious on this one. All right. Thank you. And Jamin, I like the overall market commentary. Do you ever look at individual sectors to see where money is flowing? So, yeah, I do take a look at that, but this is almost like a supplement, right? I don't use those charts or indicators or those items in terms of solely basing my trading decisions, you know, so I do take a look at them, but yeah, what's your take on here? HEAR. I just took a position at 23.48 entry price. So we just talked about the trend that was Alibaba, right? This one, you've really got to be careful because, you know, this has had quite the run once again. As a matter of fact, this is perhaps more. This is a 1,000+% run. And you guys can see that this is now dropping. Now, you might be asking, well, you know, this is dropping, but shouldn't it go higher? It could go higher, but do we see that sign of reversal? No. Where is the support area? Well, one can argue that this is a support area around 2091. Another area of support is 1981. You know, there's more areas of support down here, but there's certainly a lot of room to drop. If you guys can imagine, we're at $22. Even getting to the $19 mark, that's a 10% loss, right? Over 10% loss. And because we don't see that sign of reversal, I really can't recommend this one right now, and there's more potential for this one to drop. So just be careful, you know, as you move forward. All right, and guys, if you guys have any questions, you know, if you're in the course right now, you're on Discord, you're talking with me. If you have any questions about these tickers, you know, you can ask me as well, and I'm here to give you guys some direction or, you know, identify some areas of support and resistance. I'm here for you guys. So, yeah. Especially if you guys are going in intraday at a specific entry price like you just did here. All right, Tango, can you please look at SLB for me? What could be the bottom for it? Interesting. Today's movement is quite interesting. So, all right, we're looking at a declining pattern right now. That's number one. And number two, you guys can see, we're looking at the 3-year chart right now, and we just really don't have definitive information to trade off of. What could we do if we have a weekly close, let's say at 62.46? I'll be like, oh, okay, then we might have some more definitive, things to work with, in chart movement to work with in terms of getting entry into SLB. But right now it is declining and is showing a break of a support right now. Yes, we formed, but this is just not that great right now. It might bounce up, but I'm more concerned about the weekly close than about daily closes for this one. If it goes up, great. We have plenty of days. It's not going to go up, 20% in one day. It's just not going to happen. All we have to do is just to catch that train up, but we don't have to get in too early. What happens if we drop below the support? That's a problem. So I think wait for the end of the week for this one. Thank you for your submission, Tango Tango. And Draxon. We have J&J, Johnson & Johnson, Johnson & Johnson. Looking very nice, but what do you guys see? That's the first thing, right? You guys should see a resistance at 130. Hold on, let me write down 137. That's your resistance area. Where are we right now? We're around $1 and change away. Will we get to the resistance? Chances are we will get to the resistance, $1 and a couple more cents. Okay, we will get to the resistance. We'll retest it. This is a good trend, but again, I want to be place caution because we are nearing the resistance. So you guys can see that earnings coming up in October, so a little over a month, and we certainly can fluctuate around this area. We could break the resistance, but this is a more of a toss-up once again. Whether this is on a short-term uptrend, but do you really want to invest in your resistance? That's a question. That's an answer that you should answer, depending on your risk tolerance level. Million, your daily market reviews are awesome. With the course includes some form of commentary from you. Yeah, so you guys, I just kind of talked about it. You guys can talk with me on Discord. You guys can talk with me on Sundays during our stock talks, stock chats, as a matter of fact. So yeah, there's a lot of things to look forward to. Guys, that is it for this video in terms of today's market movement. Hopefully this helps. This analysis helped you identify some sort of trends that I'm looking at in terms of the markets. Thank you very much for watching this video. These days are getting really interesting, right? We came out of the Labor Day weekend. We're getting more volume and it's getting more interesting. So look for some more movements in the markets in the next few days and few weeks. So, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow and happy trading.